They say curiosity killed the cat, but what if curiosity did something far worse? What if you came across a book so dangerous, so cursed, that merely reading them could seal your fate? These aren't just stories, they're traps, laced with dark magic and ancient evil. Their pages whisper forbidden knowledge and incantations that bind the reader to a fate darker than death itself. Tonight, we open the covers of the 10 most cursed words ever to be written. But be warned, what you learn may haunt you forever. Turn the page if you dare, but remember, some knowledge can never be unlearned. Penned in the 15th century by a mystic named Abraham for his son Lamech, the book of the sacred magic of Abramelin the mage was intended to pass down the secrets of controlling one's own personal demon, a shadowy entity believed to haunt every soul. In 1900, its translation into English unleashed something far more sinister than wisdom. The book quickly gained a reputation, not for its promises of power, but for the dark curse that clung to its pages. Readers who dared to delve into its intricate rituals were said to awaken spirits from another realm, summoning forces far beyond their control. Symbols and magic words etched into grids could unlock supernatural abilities, but the price for such knowledge was steep, terrifying hauntings, and the promise of ruin for anyone reckless enough to keep the book in their possession. Those unfortunate enough to come into contact with the book found themselves tormented by relentless otherworldly entities. Shadows moved where there should be none. Whispers filled the silence, and the air grew thick with an invisible presence. Its victims reported an escalating series of disasters, financial ruin, inexplicable illnesses, and unrelenting fear. The wraths of the spirits seemed inevitable, their vengeance swift and brutal, ultimately leading to the demise of anyone who dared possess the cursed manuscript. What was once a guide to mastering dark arts became a gateway to madness, leaving behind a trail of shattered lives and eerie legends. In 2013, a seemingly ordinary online book sale quickly spiraled into something far more sinister, when 2 handwritten, spiral-bound spellbooks fetched an eye-watering $13,865. But this was no mere transaction. Before the ink on the final sale could dry, the seller issued a chilling warning. Any non-believers who dared tamper with the books would unleash a deadly curse upon themselves. These were no ordinary grimoires. They were the life's work of a Wiccan high priestess, Persephone Adrastea Irene, penned in the early 1960s. Known in her small town as a figure of dark power, she was someone to be avoided, whispered about behind closed doors. Her grimoires, inherited and reworked from her mother's ancient spellbook, brimmed with powerful incantations, curses, and spells that could summon spirits, demons, and worse. Yet, these books were not to be trifled with, for the spirits they conjured could turn on their summoner in an instant, and if they did, an exorcism was the only hope of survival. What makes the grimoires even more terrifying is the unknown fate of Irene herself. Her death remains a mystery, and according to legend, a witch's grimoire must be burned upon their death, lest their power lives on unchecked. Whether Irene lives or lurks in the shadows of the afterlife, one thing is certain: these books are not meant for the curious or the reckless. Their buyer remains anonymous, and their current location is a mystery, leaving the dark magic within waiting for the next brave soul. Known only as the Necronomicon, the book shrouded in darkness is said to hold the power to raise the dead. Its very title, roughly translated as an image of the Lord of the Dead, sends chills down the spines of those daring enough to speak its name. Bound in human skin, its pages are believed to contain forbidden secrets too horrifying for the mortal mind. Born from the twisted imagination of H.P. Lovecraft, the Necronomicon was once confined to the realm of fiction. But as its infamy spread, the lines between myth and reality blurred. Publishers, drawn by the allure of the arcane, manifested it into physical form. Now it exists, not merely as words on a page, but as a tangible relic of nightmares. Its various incantations include a grotesque pop-up book, brimming with eerie references to Lovecraft's haunting universe and his most notorious creation, Cthulhu. But the Necronomicon is more than just a book. It has become a symbol of fear, its reputation as one of the most cursed and unsettling works in print, spreading far and wide. From the blood-soaked scenes of Evil Dead to the macabre twists of Friday the 13th, its sinister influence has seeped into pop culture, leaving a trail of dread in its wake. Yet, for those whose curiosity overrides caution, the unabridged version can be found in the eerie halls of Miskatonic University in Massachusetts. There it waits, daring the bravest souls to turn its pages and confront the horrors within, knowing full well that once the Necronomicon has touched you, nothing will ever be the same. Written between 1608 and 1615 by Martín de León Cárdenas, a monk who dared to break his sacred vows, this forbidden manuscript lay forgotten for centuries, but its legacy was far from dormant. Whenever it came close to being published, something dark intervened. Those who touched the cursed pages met grim and untimely ends, whether through inexplicable illnesses or tragic events. For over 400 years, the novel's cursed fate kept it from the world, until one daring scholar, Belinda Palacios, uncovered its hidden truth. Well, you see, in 1965, Palacios found the manuscript buried deep in the archives of the Hispanic Society of America. As she worked to bring the novel to light, whispers of a deadly curse followed her every move. Colleagues warned her to abandon the project, recounting the bizarre deaths that had befallen those before her. Palacios dismissed the tales at first, but as more accidents and sudden illnesses occurred, she began to feel the weight of the curse. It took decades of perseverance, courage, and perhaps a touch of madness. But in 2018, the orphan story was finally published, breaking the chains of its sinister past. The question remains, was it merely a coincidence, or has the curse been unleashed once again? Believed to have been penned in the early 15th century, the Voynich manuscript is a riddle that has haunted scholars for centuries. Hailed as the Everest of historical code-breaking, a cryptic 240-page tome written in a language that no human has ever deciphered. Its pages are filled with elaborate, dreamlike illustrations, bizarrely surreal, as though plucked from the depths of an opium haze. Yet these images offer no clues, only deepening the intrigue. The book first surfaced in the hands of an alchemist named George Barash, who, despite his arcane knowledge, was as bewildered by its presence in his library as the modern world is today. Passed from emperors to other powerful figures, the manuscript has traveled through time, leaving only more questions in its wake. Theories about the Voynich manuscript's origins and purpose are as wild as the book itself. Some believe it is not of this world, speculating that it was brought to Earth by extraterrestrial beings, its indecipherable script, a language beyond human comprehension. Others whisper of a darker fate, that whoever dares unlock its secrets will unleash a deadly curse, dooming the reader to an untimely death. Whether a relic of ancient knowledge or a cosmic puzzle waiting to be solved, the Voynich manuscript remains an unsolvable enigma, a mystery that refuses to surrender its secrets, daring anyone brave enough to try. The Lesser Key of Solomon, also known as Clavicus Salmonis Regis, is not merely a book. It's a forbidden artifact of dark power, steeped in ancient demonology. Its origins are lost to time, with whispers suggesting it was compiled by unknown hands in the 17th century, but its sinister contents have endured. This cursed grimoire holds the terrifying knowledge of how to summon and control spirits of the dead and demons, binding them to your will. It's more than just a manual for the dark arts. It's a guide to invoking forces that should never be disturbed. Within its pages are rituals for invisibility, spells to locate lost or stolen treasures, and potent recipes for love potions that bend the hearts and minds of the unwitting. But these seductive promises come at a price far greater than one can imagine. To own this book is to welcome doom into your life, for the Lesser Key of Solomon is said to be so cursed that anyone who possesses it is marked by its malevolent energy. Those who've dared to keep this grimoire on their shelves have experienced horrifying phenomena: pages turning by unseen hands, books hurtling across the room with violent force, and shadowy figures lurking just out of sight. Some claim to hear eerie whispers at night, voices that seem to come from the depths of the book itself. The curse that clings to the Lesser Book of Solomon brings misfortune on a catastrophic scale, wreaking havoc on the lives of its owners. The only known way to rid oneself of its dark influence is by burning the pages and ensuring the ashes are properly disposed of. But even this desperate act may not be enough to escape the wrath of the ancient forces woven into its cursed text. Those who come in contact with the Lesser Key are left with one unsettling truth: some doors, once opened, can never be closed. Ominously known as the Devil's Bible, the Codex Gigas is no ordinary ancient manuscript. It's a towering, cursed relic that has haunted the world since the 12th century. Weighing in at a staggering 165 pounds, this monstrous tome radiates with malevolent energy that even the most hardened horror writers would shudder in its presence. Legend has it that the Codex Gigas was penned by a fallen monk, a man who had broken his sacred vows and was sentenced to a cruel fate, death by entombment behind a brick wall. Desperate to escape his grim fate, the monk made a dark and fateful decision. On the eve of his death, with time slipping through his fingers, he began feverishly writing a book that would encapsulate all the knowledge of the human experience. But as the hours wore on, the monk realized he could never complete his magnum opus before the sun rose. In a final, desperate act, the monk invoked the Prince of Darkness himself, Lucifer. In exchange for his soul, the devil agreed to finish the book, infusing its pages with unspeakable dark magic. The Codex Gigas was completed overnight, its pages brimming with forbidden rituals, dark imagery, and sinister knowledge no mortal should possess. It's said that within its cursed contents lies a 19-inch drawing of the devil, alongside other grotesque depictions of demonic entities that haunt its every page. The devil's hand is said to have touched every word, every drawing, leaving behind an artifact so filled with darkness that merely touching it can send a chill through your soul. Whether it's a gateway to hell or the ultimate repository of forbidden knowledge, one thing is certain: the Codex Gigas is a book written by the damned for the damned, and its secrets may be too terrifying to uncover. The Book of Soyga is no ordinary text. It's a chilling relic of the early 16th century, shrouded in mystery and steeped in demonology. Written in Latin, this cursed manuscript has eluded scholars for centuries, with only 2 known copies existing in the world. One of these was possessed by the renowned scholar John Dee, a man so consumed by his obsession with the occult that he dedicated his entire life to unraveling its secrets. The book teemed with dark rituals, incantations, and knowledge far beyond human comprehension. But it was the final 36 pages that drove Dee to the edge of madness. No matter how hard he tried, Those last pages resisted interpretation, an enigma he couldn't crack. Desperation gnawed at him, and in a final act of obsession, he summoned the Archangel Uriel, seeking divine guidance to unlock the book's terrifying code. Through Dee's medium, Uriel spoke with a cryptic warning. The Book of Soyga was no mere earthly creation. It had come into existence when Adam's innocence was shattered in the fall from paradise, and its true meaning could only be understood by the Archangel Michael himself. But the knowledge Dee sought came with a deadly curse. According to legend, anyone who successfully deciphers those last 36 pages is doomed to die within 2.5 years. Dee, undeterred by the warning, continued his relentless pursuit, knowing full well the risk. The book's dark allure remains, daring anyone brave or foolish enough to attempt what Dee could not. But beware, unlocking its final secrets may not only cost you your sanity, but your very life. Tomino's Hell is not just a poem, it's a chilling curse wrapped in a verse. Written by the Japanese author Yamota Inuhiko in 1919. Published in a seemingly innocent book titled The Heart is Like a Rolling Stone, this book hides a darkness that has terrified readers for over a century. It tells the haunting story of a boy named Tomino, consumed by guilt and grief after the deaths of his sisters and father. But what makes this poem truly sinister is not just its sorrowful tale, but the legend that surrounds it. The anguish woven into every line is said to carry the weight of the author's own torment, a suffering so potent that it has taken on a life of its own, manifesting a deadly curse. The legend warns, speak Tomino's hell aloud, and you invite disaster upon yourself. Those who dare to recite it out loud are said to suffer horrific misfortune, death being the most merciful outcome. But death is not the end for those who fall victim to the curse. Their souls are destined for eternal torment, trapped in the deepest, darkest corners of hell, never to escape. The poem's legacy is a sinister one, whispered among thrill seekers and the superstitious alike. It's not just a story, it is a warning, a challenge perhaps to the brave or the reckless. But one thing is certain, Tomino's hell is not to be taken lightly, for the price of curiosity could be your soul. The Grand Grimoire is not just an occult book, it's a key to unimaginable dark power, whispered to be one of the deadliest texts ever written. Crafted in the 16th century by a man said to have been possessed by the devil himself, it is often called the Gospel of Satan. Within its cursed pages lie forbidden incantations that promise to unleash the most terrifying forces in existence. This is no ordinary spellbook. It holds the secrets to summoning powerful demons and even resurrecting the dead. But such power never comes without a price. The moment you open the Grand Grimoire, you are not merely reading, you are offering your soul to the devil, sealing your fate with every word. The dangers of the Grand Grimoire are so great that the original text has been locked away in the Vatican's secret archives, hidden from the world to prevent its catastrophic power from being unleashed. Legends say that even glancing at its cursed script is enough to doom you, for the dark forces bound within its pages hunger for new souls. Yet the temptation remains. Its promises of ultimate power have drawn countless seekers into the abyss, never to return. To possess the Grand Grimoire is to stand on the edge of darkness itself, with the devil waiting just beyond the shadows, ready to claim what is his. Proceed, and you may find there is no turning back. As we close the final chapters on these cursed volumes, the knowledge itself may destroy someone's mind. Some might ask, who are the ones bearing their secret knowledge in these volumes? Are they waiting for someone like you to uncover them? If so, why?